This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Yo, great friends, what's going on? Kaplan and Crew together again, back on the airwaves, back on the stream, back on TV, back onto all the different audio podcast platforms. We are back together again, and we come to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. For those of you that are like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, we had a little break, took a couple days off, had a little vacay, and feeling refreshed and excited and ready to go. But I will say this. I mean, while I was off last week, towards the end of the week, obviously Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even though I'm out and vacationing, I will tell you, I kept my eyes on everything that was going on between the Padres and the Dodgers. And you talk about a monster just flop. What a total letdown. And then, by the way, to not only be swept and not even really be competitive against the Dodgers, to come home and to lose a 1-0 baseball game to the San Francisco Giants, like zero, not one run scored. And by my unofficial math, in the last 4 games between the Dodgers and the Giants now, the Padres have scored like a total of 5 runs. What the hell? New guys, new bats, total excitement and electricity, a celebration like a World Series was won, and same team. What is going on? So just getting rolling, just getting onto the airwaves. These guys held it down yesterday. Grande and the Brown Man, you guys sounded great. Awesome job yesterday. What the hell's up, man? Browner, come on. You going to sell me sunshine now? You going to sell me all this positivity? And Alex, are you going to give up on the season? I mean, just where's everybody at here?
Listen, welcome back.
Thank you. Foremost. Nice to be with you. How's your car? How's the tire?
We alive. We up. We rolling, baby. We good. Look.
Are you rolling?
Huh?
You know, is your car actually rolling? Are you actually mobile again?
Yeah.
Like literally, are you able to roll?
Yeah. I can roll forward, hit the gas. It'll stop if you hit the brakes. You know,
that's good because I'll tell you right now. While I was out on a little vacation, okay, and Alex was living it up. Alex here, Grande Alejandro went home. You know, he went to the motherland.
Oxnard?
No, not Oxnard. He went to Mexico.
Is Baja, Mexico, the motherland?
The motherland.
Yeah.
There's more white people there than Mexico.
The cradle of Mexican civilization is Baja.
That's right. Just so you know, when I go to Israel, I want you guys to tell me I went to the motherland.
Got it.
Browner, when you go to Africa, I'm going to be like, yo, you in the motherland, dog. No?
Sure.
What? Is this outrageous?
I mean, calling
I think
Baja
there's
the
a significant,
motherland.
yeah, I think there's a significant difference. In my opinion, I would say there's a significant difference between Baja, Mexico, and actual Mexico.
Oh.
I mean, still Mexico, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I don't know, it's like the motherland. It's more of a, I don't know.
It's part of the
Baja,
land.
Dude, I don't know, man. I saw you down there on your vacation, bougieing it all up, man.
You had a personal coconut chopper.
Right. Like, yeah, you first you had your Padres floppy hat on, and you're in a canoe, paddling a canoe. And I'm like, look
or a kayak.
That too. I'm like, look at this guy go, man. He goes home to Mexico just to get on a canoeing, kayaking thing.
Yeah. Dude, I kayaked for an hour, and that was enough to just completely char my shoulders. Like, just charred them. Well done. Basically jerkied my shoulders on that 1 hour kayak ride. It was hot, dude.
Yeah.
That sun is no joke.
Oh, no.
You get down there.
Yeah. And so, Browner, while Grande here, like you said, has a personal, like, coconut cutting down, chop open the coconut, give him the coconut water.
Juice. Man, yeah.
I don't know, Alex. Yep. In Mexico, agua o
agua de coco.
Jugo?
Agua de coco.
How much Spanish did you speak in Loreto, Mexico?
The whole time.
The whole time.
What, you think I'm gonna go to a Mexican restaurant and start speaking in Spanish when I clearly can speak the language? I mean, not the best, most fluent Spanish speaker, but yeah, Spanish
you don't speak Spanish confidently, like as in this is my language, like I speak this
down there, yeah. But they can tell right away. They tell, right? They can
tell you're an American Mexican.
Of course.
Not a Mexican American.
when we went to the restaurant that you recommended,
Yeah.
Mi Loretto.
You liked it?
Yeah, delicious.
Good.
The guy knew, but just by looking, probably at Mars, light skin, but still, he just started talking English to us. It was just like start talking English,
No
and I was
way.
like, "I got you, dog," in Spanish, and I would speak Spanish to him, but then he would go to Mars and speak English because Mars, yeah,
Really? She doesn't speak Spanish?
she does, but
Doesn't like it.
Wait.
she understands it.
What is the word that they use when a white guy goes down to Mexico and
Tourist.
No, not tourist.
Tourist.
No, not tourist. There's a name. There's a word they
Gringo.
Gringo.
Oh.
So Alex, do they think you're as much of a gringo as I am?
No, I think there's a different word. I think it's called pocho, which is a Mexican that's Americanized. So I'm not like I'm Mexican, but I'm not Mexican.
I'm Jewish, but I'm not like really Jewish. Like to the Israelis, they may say to me, "Nah, you're just an American guy."
It's like it's a term that is referenced to Mexican Americans. Pocho. And that's what I am. Clearly as light of day. Like how you are white, I am pocho. That is crystal clear down there. Like there's no hiding that fact when I'm down there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
even in my own family, like I mean, my uncles would call me that. So it's not like a derogatory term. It's just it is what it is. It's like a kid of Mexican descent, but that was born and raised in America.
Got it.
That is me.
So while you were living up the bougie life down in Loretto, Mexico on vacation, and I was at a blues festival in Mammoth, which was awesome. Really,
me and Browner recognized 0 acts.
Yeah, we was trashing you.
We went through the lineup.
I heard you guys,
but Eric Williams knew most of them.
So you guys, Donovan Frankenreiter, just by the way,
that's not even a real person.
No, it is a real person. And by the way,
movie.
let me tell you something. No. Donovan Frankenreiter, not Frankenstein.
Oh, what?
All right. Yeah.
Oh.
You guys don't understand. He's a San Diego native. He lives here. He surfs here. This is his crib. So Donovan is kind of a local, he's a well-known local San Diego guy, but I think he was going from Mammoth to Red Rocks where he's playing. If you're a blues, surfy sort of blues, like Jack Johnson, he's in that range. And a lot of people know him. Trombone Shorty.
Does he play the harmonica?
Does he play the harmonica? No, he plays the guitar. And dude, he plays such a brilliant guitar. The way he plays the guitar, he sort of plays it. Well, first of all, he never uses a pick. He's on the top strings and on the bottom strings, kind of at the same time.
Looks like you're tickling yourself.
Yeah, it kind of does tickle a little bit. Yeah. So Donovan Frankenreiter Thursday night. Trombone Shorty. You guys never heard of Trombone Shorty? Listen, I'm not suggesting
man, we ain't never heard of none of these dudes. We went down to Trombone Shorty, Trombone Thick, Trombone Tall. We ain't heard of none of them.
Yeah.
I saw Sugar Ray and I was like, oh, I know him. And then I saw a picture. I was like, no, I don't know him.
Yeah, Sugar Ray Rayford.
Rayford,
Not Sugar Ray Leonard.
Browner, you would have loved it. There was a bunch of black artists on stage performing to a predominantly like 99% white audience.
Blues is a Memphis, it's a New Orleans, it's a Chicago thing. And so to have it where you were in Mammoth is an interesting place. But
well, dude, it's like the 26th year in a row. It's like a really, really big deal there. The summertime, this is one of their super big events that not only can the locals enjoy, which they do, but it brings in a lot of tourism. And dude, it's a concert in the middle of the woods, dude.
Yeah, it looked cold. No, you guys wearing hoodies and stuff?
Well, on Thursday and Friday, it rained like a mofo, and it was just a big mud pit. But on Saturday and Sunday, it was spectacular, beautiful weather. But Browner, you're right. A lot of Chicago acts, a lot of New Orleans acts, a lot of Memphis acts. And the performers, I would say it was probably like 50-50 between black performers and white performers, which I thought was super interesting because the black dude on Saturday night was unbelievable. Like Jimi Hendrix, I think his name is Eric Gales. I didn't know everybody. Plays the guitar like the other way, like Jimi Hendrix does, like left-handed. And this brother rocked, dude. You would have loved it. You would have loved it. And Brown, I'm telling you right now, in the crowd, mostly white people, but the few black people that were there, where do you think they showed up? Right? Hanging out with your boy right here. I attract the brothers and the sisters. Do you understand that?
Can you clarify?
I mean, it's me, it's Rachel, her girlfriend, Sandra was with us, and we just, I don't know.
Sandra Moss?
Not Sandra Moss. No. different Sandra.
That would have been news.
And I just think
Bullock.
Ooh, even more news.
Not Sandra Bullock. No.
Who is this woman you were holding hands with on Instagram?
Rachel.
There's another woman.
No, you mean the woman that was grabbing my butt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her.
From behind?
Yeah, that's her.
Oh.
She grabbed my tuchus. Huh. Anyway.
That beer fest looked like a good time.
Dude, and so
that was right on my alley.
So behind the concert, so there's a big stage over here, middle of the woods, smaller stage back over here, a couple bars and stuff. Mammoth Holistics, big setup for Mammoth Holistics. But in the far back, dude, it was all beer companies, and there's a ton of San Diego beer companies. Like I saw Viewpoint Brewing in Del Mar, I saw Pizza Port. Alex, I saw some 805 type people. I saw there were like Hess. Laguna Beach, Mike Hess. Laguna Beach Brewery. Just, dude, tons and tons of breweries that you would know. And
I messaged you one.
Yeah, who was that? I don't remember.
That was well, not Oxnard, but it's the neighboring city, Camarillo Institution Ales. And I was like, oh, why are they up there? And I told you to go check them out.
Dude,
love them.
I walked around and checked out that whole beer festival. People had these little glasses, and what you do is you walk up and they just pour them for you, and you try everything. It was great. It was great. And actually,
I don't like the little glass thing. I don't like the little glass thing.
To be honest with you guys, I didn't drink that. I drank beers Thursday and Friday. I couldn't drink beer anymore on the weekend. I really couldn't. So I drank some pale ale that they had, up on the menu, which was pretty good. But I'm telling you, Brown, you would have loved it, man. Next summer.
They had espresso martinis?
They had no espresso martinis. None, zero. None. Next summer, though, guys, we should go up there and do the show from up there. And you guys come. Alex, you'll be married by then. Browner, who knows what? Don't bring anybody. You'll just
you know. Listen. I may leave empty-handed, but I walk out double-fisted. You feel me?
Yeah, you would love this, dude. I'm serious. As a Chicago guy, and as somebody who, every time you and I go to a rock concert together, you get into it. You would love this blues festival. I'm telling you that right now.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. You know what? I want to do a call out to all the breweries who have been a part of this show.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make an espresso martini beer.
It's a good idea. You should honestly like this. That your favorite stout, which one was that? That you should market it as espresso martini beer, and don't even change the recipe. Like keep the recipe the same. Just change the bottling. Seriously, it's a brilliant idea.
Between Pure and Mike Hess, they were rumbling for it. And since Pure is now literally a couple blocks from where I currently sit, and Mike Hess is also a couple blocks from where I currently sit, it's a tie because I drink them all the time.
Hey, Alex, you know what I'm just thinking about is during football season, what if we come back to Beer Fridays, and let's start doing it all over again? It was fun. We tasted a lot of good beers, but when I go to a beer festival like that, I look at these companies and I'm like, if these people knew how much we could do to help promote their brand, that'd be awesome.
Belching Beaver opened up their back area.
I saw Belching Beaver up at this event, and now Rachel's got a client, and I think it's called Laguna Beach Brewery or Laguna Brewery, something like that. We sat there and tasted their beer with them because that's now her new client.
Nice.
So dude, it was awesome. It was great. You guys would have loved it. But this whole conversation began with Browner. I saw what happened. Alex is living the good life down in Loreto, Mexico. He went to the homeland. What do they call you down there, Alex?
Pocho.
He was pochoing it up. He was a pocho. I was wearing a poncho, just by the way, because it was raining. Okay. Pocho and poncho over here. And
I needed one night.
And Browner freaking sends out a tweet that says, I want to go on vacation. Definitely felt like you were taking a shot at me in some way.
Maybe.
Should have been taking a shot at Alex for sure.
Probably.
And shows a picture of his flat ass tire. Dude.
Oh, listen, man. Listen, we addressed this yesterday, but I'll be happy to go over it again. Play us fall flat sometime,
Yeah, I do.
It's about how you rebound as a player. I got back up, went out there, changed that thing. Put that joint on there, went to the tire place, got a new thing on there. They put that joint on there, put the little joint back on the car. We good to go. My only issue with the whole thing when I publicized it on Twitter, which I shouldn't have, is when old Bertie Grossman jumped in and tried to be Mr. Magnifying Magnum PI, gonna zoom in on things like he ain't got nothing else to do all day. So that made me, steer the situation towards him.
Once I heard you guys talking about this yesterday on 1090, my phone started to blow up, and it was Bert. He was like, dude, Browner's talking about me right now, Let me tell you something, Browner. Listen to me.
Bert's in the chat every day. I just don't.
This
I can't. I have
guy.
like 3 or 4 accounts that I think is Bert. I just don't know which one it
Yeah.
really is.
Hey, Bert told me, he goes, you know what? He goes, I did Browner the biggest favor of his life. Lawhead's hilarious. He goes, and the two of them are great on the radio together. He goes, so I did Browner a big favor. But Browner, I want to tell you something. Listen to me. We got to get you a new car. It is so time for you to get a new car. And here's a thought, just an idea. I want everybody who's listening right now and everybody who's watching right now to just do me a favor and mark your calendars for Saturday, August 27th.
Yeah.
Because Browner and I are going to be doing an appearance with the Padres, like the Pod Squad and the Friar, and they're bringing out the Traveling Padres Museum. It's Saturday, August 27th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Alex, maybe we could get this to Cousin Nancy and she could put it on our website. It is a totally family-friendly event to celebrate what's going on around the Padres. There's free food. There's Padres swag to give away. There's a Tatis official game-worn jersey. There's a Myers used game bat and a game ball, whatever that means. We're giving away 4 tickets to the September 27th Padres-Dodgers game. Can you imagine how big Padres-Dodgers September 27th might be? We're giving away 4 tickets plus a parking pass.
That's the way it's going now.
Will
know,
be.
right?
Will
Right.
be.
But you got to be present to win. So it's August 27th. It's from 11 to 2 p.m. We're giving away Dodgers Padres tickets. We're going to have the Pod Squad and everything's going to come down. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of swag to give away. Free food. It's a family-friendly event. It's off the 163 in Kearny Mesa Road. It's San Diego Lexus, okay? So here's the thing. I just want to say that perhaps when we're at Lexus of San Diego, perhaps we got to work a deal to get you a new car.
Look, man, I'm not against it. I'll accept a used car as long as it's an electrical vehicle. Got to be an EV, man. No more gas for me, bro.
You're done with gas.
I'm done with gas, bro. It's too unpredictable. And it's going down again, but it'll be back up.
Yeah. Again, just a quick reminder, August 27th, 11 a.m., 2 p.m., Lexus San Diego off the 163 in Kearny Mesa Road. Everybody knows exactly where that is. Free food, great for the family. Dodgers, Padres tickets that we're giving away. Lots of swag. It's going to be a lot of fun. Me and Browner going to be down there Saturday, August 27th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Lexus San Diego off the 163 in Kearny Mesa Road. And thanks to Bill Hagan from 1090 for setting that thing up, man. That's going to be cool.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get let's get to it here today, fellas. First of all, I want to say I'm very, very happy to be back on the air. I'm very happy to be back on the stream of YouTube. Tonight on television, 7 to 8 p.m., we'll be back. Really, really excited about it. And today, I want to tell you about a story that's coming up on the show. Outside of the Padres and the Giants and what happened last night and the controversy at home plate, the brilliant catch by Juan Soto in left field. We'll get to all of it, I promise you. But I just want to set this up for you. Coming up later today, got a friend of mine stopping by the show. I haven't really told you two guys about what's going on here, but a friend of mine is going to be running in a race in Big Bear. You ready for this, Browner? A 100-mile trail race.
Why?
What? Okay, great question. Don't know the answer. We'll find out together later today. But this guy, he'll tell you a little bit more. We'll try and direct him to tell you about his resume. This guy is like one of the craziest endurance sports athletes that you've ever met in your life. And I don't know why, but I think that the answer is probably something that's going to inspire everybody because I don't know the answer. But anybody who's going to run 100 miles in a trail race in Big Bear, you're not just doing that because it's just a little recreation for you. There's got to be a bigger reason. 100 miles.
In the summer of Big Bear.
In the altitude. Oof. Yeah. I know. The heat and the altitude. Doesn't sound good, does it?
I don't know, man.
No.
I don't know.
120 some plus miles on a flat high school track sounds terrible.
Yeah. Right.
Now you're adding altitude, mountains, and heat.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But there's got to be an answer.
I have
to
one
the question.
question.
Yeah, which is
why?
Okay, well that's the same question Browner has.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's do this. When we get Mike on the show, Browner, why don't you ask him why? And then after he tells you why, then Alex goes, but I only have one question.
Why?
Yeah, why? Well, I just told you. Yeah, it wasn't a good enough answer for me.
No, I get it. But why?
I heard your answer.
I heard your answer.
Great. But why?
It's not satisfactory to, but why?
Yeah. So this guy, Mike Trevino, he has been on the show before. I don't know if you guys remember this. This is years ago. Browner, this is before you started working with the show. You ready for this? My buddy Blair was part of a swim team. There was like 5 people. They were swimming from Santa Barbara down to Point Loma to support the Naval Special Warfare Foundation. Mike heard about this and he goes, while you guys swim it, I'll run it. Mike ran like 250 miles from Santa Barbara to Point Loma and destroyed the swimmers. I mean, he did it. He'll tell you the story, dude. This guy's unbelievable. When I tell you world-class ultra endurance athlete, and there's got to be something that he's going to say to us today, because I don't know what he's going to say, that we can all use in our lives. I promise you that. And we're going to figure it out together later on. But to get started, I want to talk about what's going on with the Padres. It is just, oh my goodness. Last night was so San Diego, right? You think you're going to be able to make a comeback and win. You think you've tied the game. And when you don't tie the game, when the call is reversed, and we'll get there, when the call is reversed, who the hell is throwing stuff on the field? Did I miss something here? Are these wins, are we entitled to win because they made a big trade? You're throwing garbage on the field? What's wrong with you people? Anyway, I'm just getting rolling. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew. Stay with us.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So yeah, what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
When they approached us to do this in the first place, we couldn't wait to get involved.
Come in here, and it feels like a football game should be here. It's a big event for us. In our opinion, this is going to be an outstanding spot to bring it to, and once you get a taste of it, I'm guessing you're going to want to come back.
Watch the IFL National Championship Saturday, August 13th on YourView.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. What's going on? It's Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. I got Grande and the Brown Man. And now, guys, I told you this story earlier in the show that I have a friend of mine who's about, and this guy is, I'm telling you right now, a world-class ultra endurance athlete, not to mention brilliant business guy, great father. I mean, like the kind of guy that I want to marry. All right. He's been on the show before, but it's been a few years. Last time he was on, this is a couple of years ago, my buddy Blair, that everybody knows, was part of like a 5-person swimming team that was swimming from Santa Barbara to Point Loma to support the Naval Special Warfare Foundation. When Mike Trevino's about to join us, when Mike heard about this, he's like, oh, I'll tell you what, while you guys swim it, I'll run it. And he crushed the swimmers by running from Santa Barbara to Point Loma. All right, if I don't stop talking, we're not going to get enough of Mike's story. So here's Mike Trevino back on Kaplan and Crew. Hey, Mike, how are you today?
Good, Scott. How are you?
Doing great, man. Just because I want to fill in some notes for Browner and Grande and everybody listening and watching. The last time you were on the show, it's been a few years, but remember that whole swim where you decided to run. Can you just remind us of how that all went down?
Yeah, it started. So I was having dinner with a friend of mine in San Francisco years ago. I was 13, and he was thinking about trying to break the relay team swim record, swimming 228 miles down the coast. And so it was a 6-person team that he wanted to assemble, called the Night Train Swimmer Group, to benefit the Navy SEAL Foundation. And so I had dinner with them, then went and packed up my family and drove back to San Diego. And as I was driving back, I was thinking, well, I'm not a swimmer, but I'm a runner. Maybe I could run while these guys swim. So that next morning, I drove all night. That morning, I got home, sent him an email, and said, hey, what do you think about this? And he was very excited and said, let's do it. And that became the challenge. So that was spring of 13. And then I trained for a few months. And then my run ended up being 275, which I didn't think about. The swim's a straight shot. The run is not. I was going all through LA, trying to figure out the right way to get through LA without doing too much traffic and too many hills. So I left, the swimmers left on a Thursday afternoon. I left on Friday. We raced all the way down the coast. Blair, who you just mentioned, I think it was Saturday night. I was running by the Montage. I saw the sign, took a photo, and I had heard a story about Blair getting nudged by some large sea animals. So I sent him a text, said, hey, here's where I am. Stop molesting the sea life. And I continued on running another 80 miles or so from there. It ended up being like 265 to my place in La Jolla at the time. Slept finally, and then the swimmers came in on Monday. That was on a Sunday night. The swimmers came in on Monday, and we raised a ton of money. I think almost $1 million for the Navy SEAL Foundation.
So wait, so Mike, you ran 265 miles. You left Santa Barbara on Friday morning. You got to La Jolla on Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah.
275 miles of running. How many miles did you run before you actually stopped for a little bit?
We stopped in Newport so my crew could sleep, and I couldn't sleep. So that was, I forget which night that was, but we were coming up on 200 miles. So I stopped for a massage about 200 miles into it.
Okay, Alex and Browner, do you guys hear what we're talking about so far? That a 265-mile run from Friday to Sunday, continuously. Do you guys get what's going on? 265 miles. If you went out and ran a marathon, imagine running 10 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Not every other Saturday. Over the course of 2 days, 265 miles running. Browner, you think you could do this?
First of all, in a car, I couldn't do this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
This. On the plane, I wouldn't want to do this. On the train, I wouldn't want to do this, okay? It seems like you running from the FBI, my man. What's with all this? What's with all the avoidance?
Yeah, the FBI is busy right now. We all know that.
Yeah, FBI is busy down in Mar-a-Lago right now.
Yeah. So I actually capped myself. I told myself, if the trip is longer than a 3-hour drive, I now fly. So that is longer than a 3-hour drive. I would fly what he ran.
Yeah. So Mike, this is back in 2013. You raised a ton of money for a great cause, and I want to hear just before we talk about what you got going on here, just a little bit about your background as an endurance athlete, because anybody who hears this, like, does this guy have a job? Does this guy work? Obviously, I know what you do professionally, and you're very successful in the world of software. But just take us through a little bit of some of the other things that you've done in the ultra endurance sports world. Like, I drove through the Mojave Desert and Badwater this past weekend going up to Mammoth. What's the race that is the 100+ mile Badwater race that you've done?
That is the Badwater 135. So that starts in Death Valley, not far from where everything just got flooded out. Furnace Creek got flooded out this past weekend. So maybe you saw that. But yeah, that's 135. Did that in 01. Which was a bucket list race, so 135 miles to the top of Mount Whitney, or the Whitney Portals, as they call it, about 8,000 feet, Whitney Portals. So that was in 01. I actually started riding my bike like long distance when I was a kid, 10 or 11, and it just evolved from there. So then I started running marathons, and then some 50 milers, and then 100 miler, and it just all took off from there.
Right, but that Badwater run, 135 miles, how'd you do in that race?
I won.
How long did it take to run 135 miles?
Someone asked me that last weekend, and I don't remember. I think it was 26 or 28. So I'm confused because there was a race there were two races in Death Valley. One's called the Furnace Creek 508, which is a 508-mile bike race. Starts in Valencia and ends out near Joshua Tree, I think. We're used to. That's 508, and I think I did that in 28, and I think I did the run in 26. So it's a lot of the same course run put on by the same race director out in Death Valley.
All right. So can we just all take a breath here for a second?
I have a question as well.
Let me just reintroduce everybody, because people who are listening on radio are like, what the hell am I listening to right now? This is my friend Mike Trevino. Mike and I have been friends for many years, and we're talking about some of these ultra endurance accomplishments that Mike has on his resume. The 265-mile run from Santa Barbara to La Jolla was crazy. The 135-mile run through Badwater and Death Valley, the race that he won. By the way, I always brag about my friends, and I'll say, my friend Mike Trevino, let me tell you something. This guy at 20 throwing up balls. That's exactly how the race went, but that's how I tell the story.
That's about it. Yeah, mile 20, I lost it. Went out too fast and took on too much water, and made the race day mistake of actually doing something I'd never done before. So I put on some oil-based sunblock, and that blocked my pores. I couldn't sweat for 20 miles, and I was doing, I think, 6.5 minute miles for the first 15 miles just to try to get some of the jitters out, and I blew up. And so, yeah, I was throwing up. So I did my hydration strategy, my nutrition strategy. By the time I got to mile 20-ish, I decided to just get everything out of my stomach and restart. And I did, and walked for a bit and stumbled, and then started running and shuffling and got back to it.
And then won the
race.
That's
what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask, because to put into perspective, these numbers are so ridiculous, right? You're 200+ miles, 28 hours. Like, to put into perspective for a normal person, what is your average mile pace? And you just said 6.5 is slow?
No, 6.5 was too fast for that.
Okay.
For that distance. No, so right now I'm training, 7.5 to 8 minute miles. Nothing too crazy, because I'm training for a 100 miler, which is next week. And
But hold on, because when you did Badwater, you said it was 2001. Okay.
Yeah.
So how old are you now?
I'm 47.
Okay. So that was when you were 28.
26. Yeah, it was
26.
Yeah.
Right. So that was 20 years ago that you won Badwater. Now we are here all these years later, 20 years later, and you're going to go do, from what I understand, a 100-mile trail race in Big Bear, which means now you're going to have to deal with the heat and the altitude of Big Bear. And when is this race that you're doing?
It's next Friday. It's called the Kodiak 100. A buddy of mine and I are doing it. Ben Brown and I are doing it to raise money for 9 Week Warrior, a foundation that takes care of vets when they come back. So that's 100 miles. I actually paced Ben last year, the last 35 or so miles, and fell in love with the course. And I said, next year, I'm going to do it with you. We're going to do it together.
Well, we've met Ben Brown before. I'm trying to recall like his military resume, but I think he was in the U.S. Army, but he's a big dude back in the day.
He was a big dude. Yeah, he was an decorated Army Ranger, Purple Heart, and several other awards. And he and I met 6 years ago. I looked at his feet. I think it was my daughter's kindergarten, first grade class, and he had flip-flops on, and his feet were destroyed. And he had a service dog with him with patches and some other stuff. So I said, "Are you a runner by chance?" And he's like, "Yeah, I buried myself last night." And then from there, we were like instant friends. And so, in fact, I unplanned ran into him out on the trails last weekend, and we like hugged each other like two little girls because we hadn't planned seeing each other. I was doing a 20-mile sort of cool down run, and he was doing 32, which is last long run. We ran into each other, and he's with his dog, and we like started hugging, like, "Hey, we're almost there. We're almost time. It's almost time."
Dude, 20-mile cool down.
Cool down.
20-mile cool down run. A 20-mile cool down run. So this is Mike Trevino. He has been the winner of the Badwater 135 Ultra Marathon. There have been documentaries where Mike as a soloist, remember a couple years ago, guys, when I did the 8-person race across America bike race? Mike did it as a soloist twice, finished second in the race. And there was a whole documentary about Mike and not just him, but the other guys in the race. And I mean, he's featured in this doc. Amazing. 265 miles from Santa Barbara to La Jolla. I mean, you're talking about an ultra endurance world-class athlete. And by the way, Browner, you'll love this. Played linebacker at Cornell. Okay. Before all this ultra endurance stuff happened, this guy was an Iowa farm boy who decided to go play college football at Cornell. Mike, I can't brag about you enough, man. I really can't. Probably make you really uncomfortable.
Has your body been studied?
Has a little bit.
Like that's the amount of things that you've done in like a 20-mile cool down, whatever you're saying. Like I paced the guy for 35 and I fell in love. Like, you know how ridiculous all this sounds to a normal person?
But Alex, we're all normal people.
No, we're all different people, and you're not normal whatsoever, dude. Like I understand jumping on a and doing a marathon. You know, you hear those things frequently. You run a half marathon. You're talking about a 20-mile cool down, man.
Yeah.
So what is your expected at your age? What is your expected? I don't know if you said this already. What is your expected pace for 100-mile? This I'm seeing that last year some dude did it in 19 hours and 35 minutes.
Yeah, 1935. Yeah. You know, you say at your age, and that's exactly why I'm doing this, is because I don't think I've changed that much in 20 years. I really don't. I mean, I did 115 miles last week. I did 113 the week before. So I'm still doing big volume with no issues. I'm sleeping more. I'm probably getting more massage. I'm focused on nutrition more. But at 47, I really don't feel that different than at 25. And so at my age, if Ben and I race smart and we're going to race together, I think a 22-hour race is possible. I do think that the course record at 1931 is slow. I mean, I definitely think that record should be broken. I don't think it'll be broken this year, but I don't feel any slower, honestly, and I don't plan to race any different than I did 20 years ago, which is just go race my own race and see what we can do.
Okay, this is Mike Trevino. Yeah, Browner, go ahead, man. This is Mike Trevino. He's getting ready to run a race next week in Big Bear. What's it called, Mike, the race?
Kodiak 100.
The Kodiak 100, 100-mile trail race in Big Bear. And Mike just said that he thinks 22 hours is reasonable for him and his buddy Ben, who is a former Army Ranger. And the name of the foundation, Mike, that you guys are raising money for is?
9 Week Warrior.
9 Week Warrior?
Yeah, we're raising 10,000. I think we're about 60% to our goal.
To raise $10,000?
$10,000.
How do people contribute?
I'll send you the URL.
Okay, that'd be great. Alex and I will put it out on social media. Browner, you had a question and it sounded short and sweet. So go ahead.
Why, man? Why? Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing it to yourself?
You know, I feel better. Scott will tell you, I've been really busy and I've been running consistently. Every year of my birthday, I run however many miles I am years old. So last year was 47. This year will be 48. That's been the ultra every year for me. And I just feel really good. I feel so much better. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. I get my long run in. I see my kids when they wake up. I'm centered. I've gotten my drill out of the way, and I'm then focused for the rest of the day. I just feel better when I do it this way. My schedule, I feel the best I felt in 10 years.
Do you get when your kids wake up? You're like, hey, let's go. Get your shoes
I do.
on.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. Is my daughter is now running 6-minute miles. In fact, my twin 12-year-olds have a competition. My son's a swimmer and my daughter's a runner. Even though my son's a swimmer, he can do 5.5-minute miles, and so I can't keep up with them. And I realized that. Sorry about that.
No, that's good. We like seeing your little man behind you.
He's training.
So a good part of the motivation was my daughter, and she's being trained by a world-class marathoner right now doing 220 marathons. And he stopped by my house after the Carlsbad 5K, and he inspired me. And I'm like, man, I remember feeling the way he felt doing 220. I never did a 220 marathon. I done a 2.5 hour marathon. But I just was inspired by this young guy who's turning 30. My daughter, I'm inspired by her. I'm like, you know what? I need to get back into it. My kids can't be faster than me. I'm not that old anymore.
So when you wake up at 3 a.m., dude,
I do.
Where do you
And what's
run?
the long run?
Like,
Well,
where
what's
do
the
you
long
run?
run?
But like, where? Like, you don't just run in a circle, right? Like, you gotta.
No. I spent a lot of time on the coast. So, 16,000 feet of climbing for this 100-miler. So altitude's always sort of tough to train for. I live in 5 miles east of the coast in North San Diego, and there's lots of hills out here, so I can get 4,000 feet of climbing in 20 miles. But I've been running straight to the coast and then going up to Encinitas or going down to La Jolla. And our 45-miler we did 2 weeks ago, we left at 1 a.m, ran down to my old place in Bird Rock and La Jolla, and then looped back up and hit 45 miles, about a half mile away from my house.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
By the way, it was always funny when it's Mike's birthday. I have it on my calendar to like check in with him to see where he's at. And he's like, yeah, I'm 35 miles in right about now. I mean, dude, it's unbelievable. Like Alex, what you're saying is right, because most people think to themselves, you know what? I'd like to set a goal. I'm going to do a 10K. I'm going to do a half marathon. You know what? I'm worked myself up. I'm going to do a marathon. I'm going to put the medal on my mantle, and I'm going to forever know that I ran a marathon, And some people get addicted to it and they run 20 marathons in their lives. We're talking about ultra marathoning. Now, by the way, this takes a lot of time. So Mike, when you wake up at 3 a.m. and you go out for your run, what time are you done and how far do you go?
It totally depends on the day, but I'm usually done by 7:30, and then get to work.
So it's a 4-hour run.
Well, I wake up, and that is one thing about being older. Is I used to be able to literally get out of bed, running clothes are on, lace up the shoes, and I'm out the door in 10 minutes. I take more time to get out the door now. I'll work for an hour or so before I take off.
How often do you have to switch shoes? I feel like you're the kind of guy that Nike should hire, or whoever, and be like, these shoes have X amount of miles in their life, and then you got to get new ones.
Yeah, so usually before a race, I'll switch to a new pair about a week and a half before. So I just switched to a new pair, where the old pair had 600-700 miles on them, which is usually about enough.
They're probably looking like your tire, Browner.
Dude, yeah. I feel like Goodyear should be calling you, not Nike.
Mike Trevino is about to do a 100-mile race in Big Bear. The Kodiak 100, it's called. It's next Friday, and I wanted to have him on today so we can kind of monitor what's happening. Mike, I want to maybe get you back next week and just kind of get last-minute thoughts, and then maybe as soon as the race is over, we can get you and Ben on. But let's
Are you going to live stream this somehow? Are you going to attach a GoPro to you and or something like that? That would be interesting.
I just got this first time in 15 years. I've actually had a training watch, so I can live stream my position with this Garmin that I'm using, which is great.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. All right, so if you send us the URL, we'll put it out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We'll put it out on YouTube. We'll put it on television, Mike, and we'll tell everybody how to donate. Just one more time, the organization that you got, because Browner asks why. You talk about feeling good and being inspired, but obviously there's a whole charitable component to this, and trying to raise doesn't sound like a lot of money, $10,000 for two guys to go run 100 miles. So one more time, the charity.
It's called 9 Week Warrior, and it's to benefit vets coming back and just to help them with re-entry and physical therapy, nutrition, and things like that.
Yeah. If you send us all that information, we will get it out there.
We'll do.
Dude, this is unbelievable. I mean, it really is. Imagine that, Browner. Browner, hey, what are you doing? It's my birthday. Because, Browner, it was your birthday this past weekend, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
Did you run 41 miles?
Man, I ain't walked 41 minutes.
I think he's more likely to drink 41 espresso martinis or something.
Now that I can do.
Yeah.
I know people will tell me, like, I turned 40. I did 40 sit-ups. I did 40 pull-ups. I did 40 push-ups. I'm like, yeah, well, my buddy Mike just turned 47. He ran 47 miles this morning. Get back to me if you want to impress me. Seriously. Unbelievable, Mike. What you are doing is so cool. It's so cool for you, for your kids to see, but to also throw in, this 9-week warrior. It's just, I'm fascinated by it. I really am. And by the way, I'll just tell everybody, because we got to hustle. We got to hit this break. Mike's got like a real job, like a big business, and he got to run this thing. So you talk about, I don't have time. Well, you make time.
Yeah,
and that's really what it comes down to.
Here's the website.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, we'll put more out, and then Alex, what is the URL?
9weekwarrior.com.
9weekwarrior.com. Or is it not dot anything else? It's .com. Okay.
Yes.
All right. 9-week warrior.
The number 9 weekwarrior.com.
Okay. Hey, Mike, we'll talk to you next week, and we'll find out how the final preps are going. Appreciate you doing this, man. Thank you so much. Everybody stick around. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, and we're back in a flash.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Chavez Middle School, Zar Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
The San Diego Wave dropped their match against the Kansas City Current on Sunday, 2-1. The two teams played close before Kansas City took the lead in the 27th minute. The Current scored again in the 39th minute to extend their lead 2-0. KC almost made it 3-0 in the 67th minute off a penalty kick, but Kaylin Sheridan was able to make the save for her 8th career NWSL penalty kick save. Sheridan leads the NWSL in penalty kick saves. Amira Ali scored her first NWSL regular season goal in the 88th minute to save the shutout. Next up, the Wave will take on the Orlando Pride on Saturday at home. The Wave have two more home matches at Torero Stadium before their home opener at Snapdragon Stadium on September 17th. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View. Hey to all the great friends out there that watch on Cox Your View. You might be in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara. We're happy to have everybody here. What we love to do in this time is it's a Cox exclusive. This is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox. Not going to hear this on radio on 1090. Not going to see it on our YouTube channel. Not going to hear it on any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that watch on Cox Your View. A really big show coming to the Scottish Rites Event Center in Mission Valley in San Diego. If you love trading sports memorabilia or buying or selling, this is going to be the place for you. It's coming up on August 6th and 7th. And here's the guy running the entire operation. Here's Joe Oliveri, known to his friends as Joe O from SD Collectibles, who's running this show. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Scott. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's talk about this. Tell us about why people need to know about your show, SD Collectibles, on August 6th and 7th.
Well, we have a great show coming up August 6th and 7th at the Scottish Rite Event Center, like you had mentioned, right there in Mission Valley. We have over 130 tables that'll be at this show. We also have Paul Lowe signing autographs on Saturday. We have Steve Garvey and Raleigh Fingers, which will be there on Sunday doing in-person autographs. We just have a really great collection of some of the biggest and best of the community, the card collecting community, coming out there August 6th and 7th, showing their cards, showing their collectibles. There'll be a lot of memorabilia out there. And really what we look at it as is something for every collector.
Yeah, when you say every collector, is it, from what I understand, and looking at the website, sdcollectibles.com, it's not just purely sports cards. Is that right?
That's correct, Scott. We have sports cards, memorabilia, autographed items, quite a few unique autographed items and memorabilia. But we also have Pokemon, a large selection of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering. There'll be vendors there that have comic books. As I mentioned, there's several autograph signers that will be there. We also have JSA, which will be on site for both Saturday and Sunday, doing in-person authentication, same-day services.
Well, that's awesome because for me, the one thing I know I'm most interested in, and I know a lot of people who are watching right now have the same thing. If you've got a piece of sports memorabilia that you are willing to part with, but you don't have authentication, like I have this Marshall Faulk football, the year that he broke the record where he was over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving for the Rams in 2000. I've also got this basketball sitting right here that is signed by every Los Angeles Laker of the 2002 World Championship team. So Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson. I don't really honestly know if they're authentic. I think they are. It's just I don't have the paperwork. So I can bring this stuff to your show and get it authenticated on site. Is that right?
That's correct. You can bring your autographed items, whether it's memorabilia such as those basketballs, footballs, baseballs, bats, cards, photos. You can bring them right to the show Saturday or Sunday. Stop by the JSA booth. Chris would be happy to help you there. He'll be on site with his team, and they can authenticate different items that you have that have autographs so that you can find out, one, if it's real, and two, it just gives it that much more value when it is authenticated.
What if I get it authenticated and I want to sell it? Is there a way for a private person like myself? I say private, I mean, like, I'm not in the business. Can I sell this stuff?
Yeah, you sure can. There's a couple different ways to do that. I mean, obviously, there's some online ways to do that take a lot of time and a whole different set of really procedures. But one of the great things that you can do, we have tables available and we have options for everyone. We do have some vendor tables available, 6, 8, and 12-foot tables. You can bring your items down there to sell. You can bring your cards, your memorabilia, and so on. If you have some memorabilia items like you're showing there, Scott, you can get them authenticated right at JSA, bring them over to your table, and you can put them out there for all of the attendees to see and see if you can make a deal on selling it or possibly trading it for something that you have a little more interest in.
All right. Well, while you're talking, I know Alex is putting up on the screen for everybody the website. It's sdcollectibles.com, sdcollectibles.com. Information about where, when, who's going to be there signing autographs, how you can get authenticated, how you can buy a table and space if you want to sell your own collection. Joe, this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be really cool. Give us any final thoughts, things you need people to know before you roll.
Well, one of the great things is it's a family-friendly event. When you come to our shows, you'll see a lot of people, both the parents and the kids, showing them around because there's something for everyone. There's bargain boxes of cards that are anywhere from 50 cents to $1 up. And then if you're one of those bigger collectors that likes to find those unique cards, maybe those graded cards, those Gem Mint 10, there's going to be thousands and thousands of those on display, as well as what's called the trading card game, the TCG, with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and so on, comic books, as I mentioned, autographed memorabilia and such. If I could give a special thank you to some of those in our community that have helped support our event. Stacked Packs, big supporter and sponsor of our event. Poke Familia, J-Lo Collectibles, SD Sportsmem, and OC Dugout. Those folks really helped support our event, and they'll be at the show. So if you have an opportunity to come out and attend, come by and say hello to those folks that have vendor tables set up.
Joe, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on August 6th and 7th. The website is SD Collectibles, and we'll see you down there. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so like if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you like learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.